Hello, Hecate devotees, witches, and fellow occultists alike out there. Today's video is on how to protect and fortify your home with the help of Hecate. I'd like to first apologize for anybody who's tried to contact me on my Facebook page in the last 3 or 4 months. Back in October, I had to deactivate the page. Somebody hacked my account, started taking my personal pictures and contacting people as if they were me. So without a word, I completely deactivated that account and haven't been back on Facebook since. I recently made a profile, so if you're trying to find me or want to contact me about my videos, you're more than welcome to. I do apologize for my absence there and my absence here on this channel. I moved back in October to my own residence, so that's a great thing, and but I've been busy with work and moving, so I do apologize for my absence, but I'm here now and with a wonderful video. So let's get started on how to protect and fortify your house. So moving into this new place, I was informed that someone had passed in this domicile, which didn't bother me. Moving in here, I didn't have any negative feeling or anything like that. But the previous tenants were shady ass people. So the first thing I did moving in here was cleanse the house space of negative people energy. If it was a negative spirit, it would have been bothering me already. So, you know what? If a spirit is good or calming or just doing their business and not bothering you, what's the point in removing them? I work with Hecate. If she sees something bad, she will see fit to warn me or do something about it. That's one of the good things about working with Hecate. She usually is very on top of, hey, something's not right. You need to deal with it. So the first thing I did was, I have a little mini cauldron, and I took 5 bay laurel leaves, wrote the Hecate sigil on it, which I will be covering some of her sigils in a moment, and burned them along with some of my hair, because I have a tradition. Not everybody needs to stick to this, but when I move to a new place, I will cut off the old dead ends of my hair as if restarting over, regrowth. So taking that old part of me, because I'm now in a new place, I burned those two things together. And I went from room to room. I cracked the windows open. I had the doors open so that me flushing out any type of negative energy, it's going to go out the window, it's going to go out the doors. So I went from room to room, pretty much saying, Hecate, protect me from those that have lived here. Please cleanse the area. Put in positive, good foundation energy. And protect me from any harm that may come to me living in this space. So once I did that, I shut the windows, made sure that the smoke went outside for a little bit. I even walked the property once with the burning leaves and hair, and then came inside. Once the area was cleansed, I then made a paste out of brick dust and Hecate oil. I don't make my own Hecate oil. I will be doing that in the future and doing a video on it. I found a really good recipe, so stay tuned for that. When it comes to doing the physical borders of your house, the doors, you can do the windows if you feel like you want extra protection, but it is essential that the doorways in and out of your house are protected. And using the Hecate oil and the brick dust, making a paste, I did the bottom of the door, went up and over and around, both the front and the kitchen door because those are the front and exiting doors of my house. I didn't bother to do the windows because Hecate, it is more likely a spirit will come into your house through your doorway than they will your window. And once I fortify my property, then I won't have any worry about that. You don't have to use brick dust. I personally use brick dust because I'm dealing with foundation, and bricks are older bricks, I should say. Anything past the 1900s, I'd say 1930, isn't mixed the same way that the older bricks are. Old bricks have iron dust in them, which is why they're that bright red color. Iron represents blood and protection against evil spirits, against fae folk. So that is why I particularly use brick dust. You don't have to. You can use iron shavings. You can use ritual ash. You can use grave dirt. These are just a few suggestions. You could use your own blood. You can also write in the corner of your door sigils. These particular Hecate sigils I'm going to go over in a minute. You could write them in the corners of your doors with a pencil. You can mark them on paper, stick them in the corner of your doors, or on a windowsill if you wish. These are just some ideas to give you of what you could do to protect the inside of your house. So once I went over the doors, sealed them with the paste made from brick dust and Hecate oil, which I mixed in the same cauldron that I had previously burned my hair and the laurel leaves, so that way it's all that context is mixed together to help protect and fortify the area. After I'd done that, and I had cleansed the area, I put a little brick dust on the outside of my porch and my patio because that's an enter and exit point where if somebody's coming to do harm to you or has ill will towards you, they won't cross that area. And you're thinking, okay, well, how do you know that really works? I've had a couple people come up to my property because it's in the front part of it's an open field, so there's constantly people wandering around and apartments surrounding that have stopped right at the porch point and have not come even to knock on my door. They've turned around and left. So for me, I know that works. Okay, so I've been sick, so I haven't fortified my yard, my property yet, and I'm about to go over that with you right now. So, one of the things that I have done is there's these wood blocks here. Now you can get, these are just wood blocks. I think they're maple. I got them at Home Depot. But you can make it whatever wood you want. I chose maple because it's softer to carve into. Yew, willow, those are sacred to Hecate. There's some other sacred. Oak, I think, is one of them. Those are trees sacred to Hecate. So if you happen to have those and you wanted to use that type of wood, please, it will amplify your energy that you're going to put into these sigils on wood. So what I did is I first traced it out. Now these sigils you can find in the Hecatean, written by Jack Graylee, which is an amazing book. A lot of the work I'm doing now is from that book. So I traced it out with a marker, then I carved it in, and then I consecrated it by putting black powder in there and lighting it on fire. So it has the element of fire and Hecate and protection already in the sigil. And another reason why I carved and did that is because when this goes into the ground, which There's 4 of them that I've done, and I'll go over each. When they're in the ground, water or anything, it's got the 3D in there, so it's not going to wash away just the, as if you were painting or just doing the marker. So once I did the black powder to consecrate it to Hecate, I rubbed linseed oil and her Hecate oil over the top of it, and I kept them on my altar for a week and pretty much prayed to her for protection, for strength, for fortification. So, what do these 4 epitaphs and sigils mean in regards to Hecate? So, the first one we have is Agriopi. And what Agriopi's job is she's a harm diverter. She is the ghost devourer. She eats unwanted and restless spirits. She's the whip wielder. If you want somebody gone, she's the one to call to come forward and scare the shit out of them, chase them away. One of her other good properties is she can help cure madness caused by malicious spirits and ghosts. So let's say, your brain's affected by it, something's taking you over, you feel like you're going crazy, you start hearing shit in the house. She's a good one to call to help ease your mental distress. I would pray to her for a good month and see if your mental health improves, if in fact it is a spirit. Mental health is its own thing. I mean, there's so many factors to that. So I'm just talking about specifically ones done by evil spirits or ghosts. And she also keeps people and spaces safe. She paralyzes those that come to bring harm. So again, like I told you that story with the brick dust on the patio, this will stop anybody from entering into the perimeter that I'm putting up. So that's Agriopi. So the next we have is, and Agriopi would be considered the air element. I'm doing the 4 elements in the 4 corners of my property to not only protect against physical people harm and spiritual harm, but this also helps maintain the elements on the property itself. So less likely for shit to go wrong with a pipe bursting or finding poisonous whatever in the soil, which this area probably has, cleansing the air from certain impurities and protecting the home from fire. So Agriopi is air. Kratos is the water element. She reveals the truth. She's the breaker of deception. So let's say somebody's coming on my property trying to tell me, oh, well, I'm here to sell you a puppy, and they're really here to check out my, windows so they can break in. The person will either start telling you really why they're there, or they'll just walk off the property. She is a dominator of mankind's fate. She knows what will be, what has always been, and what will never be. So if you're a little uncertain about yourself, you can always call on Kratos. I would say take a bath because she's a water element. Put some oil in some Hecate oil or love oil or frankincense, myrrh. Those are always wonderful conductivity. I can talk, I swear. Conductive elements that in your bath water will help bring the information into your mind frame and help you clarify some things. She is called, Kratos is called before you do ritual to cleanse an area and protect you from evil spirits. She's specifically good for banishing things and for mental clarification in truth and breaker of deception. So we got water, air. Okay. Next we have Apotropia. She's the earth. And her sigil is like a snake. She is the Gorgon. She represents the Gorgon, the snake element, the earth element. She is an averter of evil. All of these elements of Hecate in some way are protectors from not just physical harm, but protectors from evil and protectors from restless spirits. So these are good things to know if you ever wanted to use them yourself personally for other things. She's a confronter of dark forces. So let's say you feel like you're being cursed or somebody's putting the evil eye on you. Apotropia is a good one to use to deflect and send that energy back to somebody. Not just the energy from the outer space, but within. Let's say you yourself are not feeling whole, or like you're having a bad time within you want to expel some negative shit. She's a good element to use. Apotropia. Okay. So then the last one we have is Propylia. She's our fire element. And what she does is she's the guardian of the door and the gate. So not just physically, but the ones within ourselves. She's obviously here because we're physically putting her in the border protection to avert harm from your physical property. Your gateways, your doorways. You can put this symbol there and she will help protect surrounding area. She's the one that if you have an outside shrine or altar, which I personally do, she's the one that you would dedicate it to. Because back in ancient Greece, people would put small shrines and give them offerings to keep the evil out and protect from theft and from parts of the property breaking down. That's what she's good for. She herself is a gateway and a portal to the undead, to the places in between the living and the dead, and also to invoke Titan power, because she guards, she's not Tortorokos, which resides over Tartaros, but she definitely pulls the elements from the Titans that reside within Tartaros. So she's a good one if you're, let's say, doing eclipse energy working and want to bring down the moon, or doing protection work with the sea or the sky. She's just good for any type of Titan power you want to bring about within yourself and your property. So we got fire, we got earth. Sorry, you can see those better. Earth, we got water. Whoa. And we got air. So like I said, they're all going to go in the four corners of my property. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I had to do this video first before I plant them into the ground. And let's say you have a property and you have dogs. And dogs love to dig anything we put out there. So something you could do once you've put the blocks into the earth, which again, you don't have to use wood. You could put this on a piece of paper, put it into the earth, but over time it's going to deteriorate and you're going to have to do that a little bit more frequently. These suckers, once they go on the ground, they'll be there till they rot. So, and they won't, because I've treated them with linseed oil, which helps protect against pests. But to deter your dog from digging them up, you can put capsaicin oil or peppermint oil or really spicy pepper flakes around the area that you had planted the block in, and it will, once the dog goes around the areas and smells it, they're not going to like it. Peppermint oil also protects from rodents. Like out here in the desert, we have a bunch of ground squirrels who love to dig up shit. So putting a little capsaicin or peppermint oil, that any animal that comes in that area and smells it, it's going to irritate their nose and they're not going to want to bother to dig in that area. So once these 4 sigils are placed in their corners for the 4 elements, what I do to activate it is I would go around burning sage or bay laurel leaves or lavender and walk the property from, starting with the air element and going around and asking Hecate to protect the property from evil spirits, to activate the 4 guardians, and to not just protect us from evil spirits, but protect us from the harm that people physically want to bring. For example, reason why I need to do this today, besides talking to you fine people and giving you some ideas, yesterday I got a big scare out of me because I have not fortified my property yet, and somebody came onto my property trying to steal tools off the side of my patio. Once these beauties are in the ground, that should not even be an element. Anybody who wants to come thieves, robberies, crap breaking on your property, I'm not saying it's going to 100% get rid of these problems, but absolutely help deter these problems. So that being said, I hope that this inspires you to think of your own ideas, or even use what I just said as ways of protecting your home and your property. Now, I had the thought that maybe if there was enough people interested in these, I could make some and sell them to people. If you are possibly interested in already carved, burned, dedicated to Hecate, ready to go protection sigils for your property, comment below, and if I get more than 5 people interested, then that's definitely something I will work on having available. In the meantime, I gave you some ideas to protect the inside of your home, gave you some ideas for the outside. Like I said, you don't have to carve it on wood. You can draw it or paint it. It just won't last as long. Same with writing it on a piece of paper and putting it in the 4 corners. It won't last as long because things wash away with rain. The dirt also is wear and tear on them. So you got to think about long-term fortification for your property. Yeah, I hope that this video was useful to you, that you have some ideas or inspiration on how to protect yourself using Hecate sigils and those particular Hecate epitaphs. And here's to more videos and to a new year. Bye.